Welcome to the WNBA podcast, where we're calling a spade a spade. Great to be here with you guys today. With every passing day, every article that comes out, every interview that gets done, each time something new appears, my like for the players just dwindle more and more and more and more. It all started with the Nafisa Collier end of the season teardown of Kathy Engelbert and the WNBA. And it seems like every week after that, something comes out, something gets released, some interview gets done, and the support for the players just seem to disappear. Here we are, we have Breanna Stewart giving an interview after her Gimmick League Unrivaled Championship. We have Terry Carmichael Jackson giving an interview, sitting down with Andy Costable, speaking on the letter. What's it with Blue's Clues? I just got a letter. I just got a letter. Sorry, if you know, you know. It's like I can't root for stupid. You know what I mean? Not to sound too harsh or too rude or too mean. Like, I just can't root for ineptitude, incompetence. It irks me. I can't get behind it. I can't support it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Where has your support been throughout this whole entire process? Has it wavered? Has it moved? Are you a pro player? Are you pro owner? Because at this point, you guys know I'm very pro owner, but when it comes to the players, I'm just now, right? It's less than care. You care, you don't care, and then you just have no feeling towards it at all. And when it comes to the players in the WNBA, I'm like, well, who cares? Right? It's like, at this point, it's like, who cares about you guys? I want to see Caitlin Clark. The rest of you guys, I really don't care. I don't. I can see Caitlin Clark and a whole replacement basketball league and be like, yeah, I'll watch. I wouldn't know the difference that some of the main players in the WNBA are gone. I really wouldn't know the difference that much, maybe a couple players. But by and large, the product that gets put out there, it would look nearly identical. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel. That would mean so much to me. Andy Costable sits down with Terry Carmichael Jackson at the WNBPA headquarters about the split amongst members. She says, I quote, "The one thing I said to the players is they have one tool, and their tool is to outweight you." Now, before we get into the article, I want to give a shout out to Howard Megdal and his co-host. I don't know your name. I'm sorry. They got hold of this survey, or pieces of this survey. Here we go. WNBPA survey. Question 1A. Would you accept the league's proposal of 50% of net revenue, which is less than 15% of gross revenue, in an 8-year deal, or ask the union to keep negotiating? Vote for 1. Yes, I would accept 15% today, and there is no need to keep negotiating the player's share of revenue. No, I would not accept 15% and want the union to keep negotiating. Question 2. At 15%, the additional wins are: select your top 5. Housing for all or most players. Retirement benefits for already retired players. Retirement benefits for current and future players. A reasonable season footprint. Limit on additional games. Reasonable limits on player marketing requirements. Shorter term for the CBA. Eliminating the core. Eliminating reserve players. Reducing the length of the rookie scale contract. Yeah, this is real. Question 3. If you answered no, keep negotiating, what is the minimum percentage of gross revenue that you would accept? Select 1 only, or write in other amount. 18%, 20%, 22.5%, 25%. Question 4. Given the gross percentage of revenue that you identified above in question 3, are there additional wins that you believe must come with that percentage? Yes, we must secure additional wins. Please respond to question 5. No, no additional wins are needed. Please click submit below. This is how we're going about getting feedback. This is how you're collecting player feedback. Now, I understand surveys are commonplace or not out of the realm of abnormality, but this particular one, I need to see the NBA surveys, the MLB's types of surveys, the NFL types of surveys, because this seems a little bit discombobulated, jumbled, mangled, all over the place. Not the best way to actually collect data from your players to see what they actually want. Just my opinion. Let's get right into the article, shall we? Annie Costable. I went to interview WNBPA headquarters to interview Terry Carmichael Jackson. WNBA union director blames player rupture on the league. Now, something that's a common theme within the WNBA, within the players of the WNBA, the referees of the WNBA, mainly the players of the WNBA, because that's what we're talking about, is the lack of accountability. The lack of taking ownership of things. And what you'll see through here is that Terry Carmichael Jackson takes zero ownership, doesn't recognize that the building is currently on fire. She's saying everything's fine. Everything's hunky-dory. Meanwhile, we get leaks here, we get leaks there. Everything's not all hunky-dory, but she's going to play like everything's fine. She's going to blame it all on the league. The league, by the way, which hasn't said anything. Throughout this whole entire process, the league put out 2 statements, and I'm being generous. I want to say it's only the 1 statement after the foolish Players Association put out that Valentine's Day post. I want to say the league only put out 1 statement. Quick, short to the point, this will bankrupt us. That's it. So how is the league rupturing the players? By staying true to their offer? By not budging? By having certain non-negotiables that they're not willing to work around? I would really love to know, Terry. Quote, I hear the emotions and the range of them as a result of the league putting pressure on the players, the league dragging this out, Terry Carmichael Jackson tells Front Office Sports by Annie Costable. The league hasn't dragged this out. They keep going to that 6-week period where they didn't communicate and blaming that on the league. The players sent the same proposal again. Point blank period. The players sent a proposal in December. The league said, get this shit the fuck out of here. Part of my language. The players said, let's just change up a couple words and see if they notice. The league noticed, and they didn't want to respond twice to the same proposal. You would think that the players would take initiative to actually work on something in the meantime. Instead, they were lazy. Instead, they were busy hooping and humping down in Unrivaled, drinking mimosas on the beach. It's the truth. In the 10 days since the WNBA imposed the March 10th start date, the WNBA Unified Front has begun to crack. We know this. It started with details of a tense player meeting. A day later, a collection of player agents shared their letter with the WNBPA. On Tuesday, a new letter leaked to ESPN from First Vice President Kelsey Plum and Vice President Brianna Stewart to Terry Jackson. We have a players-only meeting February 24th. A day later, a collection of players' agents shared a letter with executive director. About a week later, we have a letter leaked from Kelsey Plum and Brianna Stewart. We have 3 instances of clear frustration by the players in 10 days' time. We have 3 clear examples of the players getting frustrated. Agents saying, what the fuck is going on over here? In a 10-day span. In it, they expressed concerns over the way negotiations have been handled by the union and a shared belief that the lack of progress as the March deadline approaches, quote, is a result of a breakdown in communication between Jackson and the executive committee and players more broadly. The letter was also sent to the WNBPA executive committee and union staff. In an interview with Front Office Sports at a union headquarters in New York, Jackson addressed Plum and Stewart's letters directly. Quote, I think you're hearing that there is a discomfort with what's being played out, Jackson said when asked about it. I don't know that there's a discomfort in what we are doing. Well, Terry Carmichael Jackson, I'm glad you mentioned that. Let's go over here real quick, shall we? Let's reread what we just wrote. In an interview with Front Office Sports at union headquarters in New York, Jackson addressed Plum and Stewart's letter. I think you're hearing that there is a discomfort with what's being played out. Jackson said, when asked about the letter, I don't know that there's discomfort with what we're doing. But then we compare that to the letter that Plum and Stewart put out, wrote a 3-page letter Monday to Players Union Executive Director Terry Jackson expressing serious concerns about how the PA is handling the current negotiations. Does that sound like discomfort? I know two things can be true at one time, but how many times are you concerned with something and you're not discomforted about it as well? Or you don't feel uneasy about things you're concerned? We continue on. I hear the frustration, she continued. I hear the emotional range, I hear the emotions and the range of them as a result of the league putting pressure on the players, the league dragging this out. The one thing I said to players is they have one tool, and their tool is to outweigh you. The owners can outweigh you. Whether it's their only tool or not, that is the biggest tool that they have. That is the most important tool that they have. That's the strongest tool that they have. What, are you going to pressure billionaires to do something? You're going to pressure billionaires to move, to pivot, to suddenly get concerned, suddenly get worried and start changing their thought process over negotiations that are probably child's play to what they've done in their past life and their past careers to get where they're at. This negotiation with the players, this is child's play to them. This is easy money. This is a grown adult going one-on-one in the driveway against a 5-year-old. You're going to win. Whether it's a small hoop, a medium-sized hoop, a 10-foot hoop, you're going to win that game. Plum and Stewart's 3-page letter mentioned serious concern about how the PA is handling the current negotiations. The WNBA has repeatedly stalled negotiations, including when it refused to engage with a December proposal submitted by the union for roughly 6 weeks when both sides met in person on February 2nd following the stalemate. The league came to the meeting with no counterproposal. That's the difference. The league didn't need to respond to a proposal they already responded to. That is the pro-player bias that you see in this article right here. The league hasn't stalled. Not one bit. The players have stalled. In fact, I will say that the players only coming down 1% is a version of stalling. Submitting a proposal that you know will get you nowhere is a version of stalling. I'll argue that. I'll sit here and I'll argue that. That gets you nowhere. So who's really stalling here? Elizabeth Williams goes on to say, I think maybe because of the pace of negotiations move faster, now people may feel like they're playing catch-up, Williams said. That's my guess. But any member can initiate a call or a meeting if they want to. Right. Nobody wants to strike. Sophie Cunningham speaks about the questions that we just saw. I think the questions were just fine. Indiana Fever guard Sophie Cunningham tells Front Office Sports they were trying to allow people to fully understand what it means. If you say yes, this is what it means. If you say no, this is what it means. So I personally was okay with how the questions were asked. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Let's get into some reaction, shall we? Again, the more you hear from the Players Association, from the player side, the disdain just continues to grow. LOL, so much dumb in all this, but she might want to mention that they can outweigh them, or they can simply carry on or replace them. 90% of the league are free agents. Just carry on and don't sign them ever. This person, Jackson, has never worked in a law firm or had a serious job in the past. The W players need proper lawyers. Terry got to go. The way this whole thing has been handled from jump has been a joke, desperately unprofessional, and now to learn that players are afraid to even speak up because they're getting yelled at for not having the right opinion. The whole board may need to go. If that's the advice Terry is giving the players, no wonder this has been a mess. Players need better advisors leading them. This is Breanna Stewart giving an interview about this. CC Report says, it's giving hostage video, which honestly is exactly what it is. This is what it looks like when the PA is trying to frantically recoup the little credibility it ever had with the strike threat, and in order to even have a prayer at that it was necessary for Stewie specifically to come out and try to undo the damage they've done. Unfortunately, like any hostage video, the problem is that the party making the hostage video, in this case the PR, are not rational actors, which is a prerequisite to any negotiation. The league will not negotiate with terrorists. Damn. Let's take a listen.
Strike is definitely on the table because we're negotiating for the best deal possible, and as everybody knows, we have approved have the strike authorization vote ready. So that leverage isn't going away. Do we want to do it? No, we don't. But if we have to, we will.
I know we've been going over this. I don't think these players have any idea what they want. I think they're clueless. I think they're clueless. I think their mind changes like the weather. 1 second it's hot, 1 second it's cold, 1 second it's cloudy, 1 second it's clear, 1 second it's raining, 1 second it's sunny, 1 second it's snowing, the next second it's 75 degrees on a Sunday afternoon. This is what the owners are negotiating with. A bunch of flip-flopping, wavering, unstable players. Brianna, blink twice if you don't want to strike. They really thought that moral righteousness and social media support was going to make the owners fold. Yeah, I'm so confused with Stewie's on at this point. Yeah, I think Stewie's confused. I don't think Stewie knows what Stewie's on at this point. I think she has nary a clue. Let's listen to what Charles Barkley had to say about this real quick, and then I'll let you guys get out of here. Appreciate you guys for all supporting and hanging out during these longer videos. Let's take a look.
Yeah, they need to be very careful. They're walking on thin ice right now, Susie. Number one, I wish those ladies luck. I want them to get paid as much as possible. I wish them nothing but the best. But let me tell you something. I had Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. I've had some of the greatest players ever, and we went on strike. Listen, you got to be careful of trying to figure out your. I know they're doing some great things, but you have to be. You can't overplay your hand. Like I say, I want those ladies to make as much money as possible, and I don't want to be one of those fools get on TV and say I don't know their financial workings. I don't know how all their stuff working, but I will tell you this. As a league that had Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, and 100 great players, I think we went on strike 3 times. So this notion, just because you got power and talent, these billionaire owners just going to give you everything you want. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. So I wish those ladies great success. I hope they get paid what they deserve. But you can overplay your hand. Like I say, in the NBA, we're like, nah, we're not gonna go on strike. They need us. And I like. Then I know you know what I was doing, Sue? Sitting my black ass at home, unemployed. These guys I remember sitting in those meetings. They're like, no, they're not going to strike. They're not. No, we too important. Blah blah blah. When the season started, I was sitting at home playing damn tiddlywinks, and I want to tell the women, like I say, I wish they get as much money as possible. I wish them nothing but the best. But you have to really be careful overplaying your hand. Because, listen, one thing about people who make money, they're never going to be billionaires. Billionaires always have the upper hand on millionaires, okay? No matter how many millions you got, you're not a billionaire. So you always have to be careful overplaying your hand. What you do is, you try to make the best deal possible in the moment and keep growing and make it things like that. But you have to be careful overplaying your hand.
Absolutely. The players are forgetting that they're the ones asking for something. They're not giving anything. They're asking for something from somebody else. What somebody else worked for, what somebody else has earned, what somebody else's business has produced. They're asking for a piece of that. What's in it for the owners to give it to you, players? Because the more you guys come out and give interviews and this, that, and the third, you just look sad, sorry, and pathetic. Like the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel. That means so much to me. See you next time. And as always, take it easy.